Hi, my name is Mrs. Zelmer, and I'm the Career Counsellor at Lacombe High School. I want to share some information about planning and applying for their post-secondary schools after high school. So we do have a Career Center website. I always suggest to check it out. There are some important links throughout it. So first step is always to do that career planning. So we really need to find out what actually interests you. What type of job do you see yourself doing? What industry, what area? Do you like to be outdoors or indoors? Working with your hands, sitting at a desk? The same consistent day every day so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into? Or do you like problem solving and having a different day every day at work? So kind of answering those questions, thinking about what will make you happy in the future. So a great resource for part of this career planning piece is the ALICE website. So I have it linked up or shown you up here, but they have all sorts of things from getting quizzes to get to know yourself, career insight, planning tools, and then you can actually look at the actual programs and schools. Or another way you can use ALICE is they have an occupation profile. So they list hundreds of different jobs. What's great about the site is it's all Alberta based. So all the numbers you're seeing are based within Alberta, which is really cool. As you click on the job, if you select down to education requirements, it lists all the schools that have a program that can get you to that career. So this one's a bit backwards by design. You find the career first, and then you're gonna find your pathway. The other one is more finding out what direction you want to start in, and we're gonna see what career it ends up with. So both are great ways to start seeing what career is going to make you happy. But this alice.alberta.ca is a website I highly recommend everyone checking out. So then you do need to select a school. So you need to select a school that has a program that you're interested in and is somewhere that you actually want to live. You need to check to make sure that you meet those requirements for admission, and also requiring that proof of vaccination. So I just heard that 8 different universities across Alberta have signed an agreement that starting in January, students will have to have proof of vaccination, double vaxxed, I believe, as of January of this year. So just a heads up for that. Some resources that you need to be aware of is that those ELA open houses. So we do have one scheduled in November in person. Hopefully that stays the same. Until then, we do have some online events. The online events are scheduled with a specific time because recruiters are actually behind the computer ready to answer your questions at those times. So I do recommend checking them out, asking questions, and seeing what schools have to offer. Every school will have virtual tours and open houses, so check those out. We do have some view books here at the Career Center, but they're also all online. And they're, of course, going to be more updated when you go to the online version. So that's definitely where I would push you towards. You need to start researching your program early. So I've pulled up the Bachelor of Science program just because it's an easy, for nursing. It's an easy one to compare because lots of schools have this program. So RDC lists the following. Now, while RDC says 65%, the lowest that got in last year was 83%. That's a huge discrepancy. So just be aware of that. We call that your competitive average. So just because there's a minimum doesn't mean you'll get in with that. And as you're planning, if you're in grade 10 or 11, if you know your heart is set on nursing, you know that's exactly where you want to be, you get to choose Chem 30 or Science 30. So you get to choose which science do you think you'll get a higher mark in. Because at the end of the day, the school is not going to look at what course it is. They're going to look at the mark if it's on one of these required ones. Same with math, 30-1 or 30-2. Well, if you think you can get a higher mark in -2 and you know this is your program, take the 30-2. If you're not sure and you want to keep those doors open, of course, 30-1 is always a great option, but you just want to make sure that you kind of pick the courses and play the game and make it work for you. So here's a list of different schools, and you can see every school has some different admission requirements. So again, this is the nursing for registered nurse program. So some schools take Science 30, some don't. All that I could see are taking Math 30-1 or 30-2, and all have different marks to get in. And these are the competitive averages from 2021 entrants. So just be aware of the different programs and the different admission things that they offer. Most universities are going to ask for 5 grade 12 classes. So you're going to use those grade 12 classes to get straight into university. Now, Social 30-2 does not count. Social 30-1 does count. Some schools are taking some option classes. So Phys Ed 30, Aboriginal Studies 30, French 30. Today, Art 30 is a common one. I even saw today cosmetology and foods. As long as you have 5 credits in the 30 level, they are taking it as one of your options. So you'd have 4 other academic 30 levels. So it's pretty cool that they're accepting that. Not every program is. So again, you have to check out to make sure you have the courses you need. You are about to spend thousands of dollars at the school. So it's up to you to really call the school, tour the school, make sure that this is where you want to be. Check out their post-secondary open houses, check out those ELA events, and ask any question that you might have of them. When you actually go to apply, applications open as of October 1st. I always suggest to apply early. The sooner you can get in, the better. Some schools are first come, first serve. Others are not. Others will have deadlines, but we always apply early and put more than one program on your application in case you don't get into the top one at that school. You can list multiple ones. And we always suggest to apply to more than one school. Again, just trying to make sure that you get in somewhere, you have a backup plan, just to make sure that if you're set on going somewhere, that you have somewhere to go. There is typically a fee to apply. $120 I was seeing today, lots of $150, but anywhere from $100 to $200. And lots of programs will fill up fast. So like I was saying, some are first come, first serve. So it's first come, first qualified, first admitted. So some programs are, you meet the minimums, you're in. This is no longer true of the practical nurse program at RDC, but lots of like Bow Valley College, lots of their programs are. NAIT and SAIT, about half of their programs are on this model. So that's why for sure, those ones I would recommend applying as soon as you can. Always list your top choice first, and then you're going to list the alternatives underneath it. And when you're actually using Apply Alberta, I'll talk about that in a second here. So when you actually hit apply, then you get this here warning. So having a My Alberta digital ID, it'll walk you through that. It's not really a big deal. It's just creating a new account. But you do need your Alberta student number and your high school courses and marks. Both of those can be found on your high school transcript. So we call it your detailed academic report. And that you can find on your MyPass account. Again, Google MyPass, put in your school login, and you should be able to get your detailed academic report from that. Now, when you're listing your courses, most of the time, grade 12 students are applying, but they haven't actually completed any grade 12 courses yet. So they are going to list all of their grade 11 courses and the marks. And you're still going to list all your grade 12 courses and say that you're planning to take it or in progress. But you need to make sure your grade 11 marks are in there because that's actually what the university is going to see. And sometimes even base your admission on those grade 11 courses, depending on when in the year you have your grade 12 version of it. At some point, we're hoping that you have to accept the offer. So U of A is May 1st is their accepted date. You accept it by paying, unfortunately, a tuition deposit, so about $500, but it goes towards your tuition at that point. So it's not money wasted. And that way you're telling the school, yes, for sure, you're going to be there. And then it's up to you to start attending some workshops, seeing how each school has a different portal. How do you load your classes? How do you know which classes to even load? How do you apply for residency? What is life on campus like? What are things you can get involved with? So all that kind of stuff is going to be done through your actual university or college of your choice. So make sure that you're checking your email, checking your portal, whatever system that school is using to make sure that you keep up on date on this type of information. And that is the presentation in a nutshell. If you have any questions, reach out. My email address is there, and good luck.